He might like my food local. I know that my hens can roam. I like my food.
Hi, my name is hanspetermeyer, and today I'm talking to Steve Horel here on RockBottom Farms in Merville. Steve's been growing vegetables here since 1974, is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
So, what prompted you to grow vegetables?
That's a very good question. I suppose I was hungry, semi-impoverished, and I didn't want to plant trees for the rest of my life.
That's a good reason. So you become a fixture at you are a fixture at the farmers market. Tell me a little bit about what you grow here, when you grow it, and where we can get it. So let's start with what are you growing on the farm?
Okay, well, early in the spring, in my unheated Quonset, I'll usually have a lettuce crop and some early turnips, spring turnips, and then that'll grade into tomatoes after that. But I also do a lot of bedding plants in another house, mostly tomatoes and peppers. I don't do a broad spectrum of other types of bedding plants. And then I get into my field crops. I grow a pretty broad spectrum of vegetables. My biggest quantity of vegetables would be tomatoes, green beans, and carrots.
Carrots?
Carrots, oh yeah, carrots. Yeah. Lots of carrots.
So, but you're also trying out new things, right? So, what are, we had this little chat before this, and Steve was telling me about, well, first you've been at the market since day one. So let's start with that. So, what does the market mean to you?
Well, actually, in a way, the market is a godsend for probably any small grower, and especially someone starting out, because you can sell any quantity. You don't have to have a quota. You don't have to make delivery of so many cases of this and so many cases of that every week to a store or a processing place. If you've got a half a dozen cabbages or 24 cauliflowers, you can sell them at the market. So it's a really nice way to grow and to market. It's great. Right,
and so some of the stuff, I'm not going to say the name of these peppers that Steve's growing, but I will include a little brief recipe on how to use them. So tell me about how, so you started with these Spanish peppers, you started growing them for yourself, and then what's happened?
Oh yeah, well I started maybe 4 or 5 years ago growing this particular Spanish pepper, which is used in tapas. And I fell in love with them, and I thought, well, I'll start to sell a few at the market. And people kept coming back and saying, those peppers, do you have any more of those? So you can develop a market for some niche product that you have, and the market's a perfect place to do that.
So you grow lots of different kinds of tomatoes. Do you have niche tomatoes and niche buyers who are coming just for that tomato?
I suppose so. I don't really have niche tomatoes. I just have really good tasting tomatoes that are wonderful, And people come back because they can appreciate the quality.
Right.
And I have different grades. I always try to have, I don't like to price myself away from people who don't have a lot of money. So I will have different grades of tomatoes to sell so everybody can get a taste. Mm-hmm. Whatever.
So how long is your tomato season?
Well, probably the middle of July. It will start towards the end of July, and then it goes right into essentially frost, which for me sometimes is as early as early September, but sometimes I'll run right into October, which is a bit rare to go all the way to October here. On my land, yeah.
So you're a serious grower. I mean, I've known you for years, and I've always known you as Steve and RockBottom Farms.
Oh, I'm a serious guy.
But you're growing in a very challenging location. Have you ever thought about, doing what you do in a place that's doesn't have such a short growing season?
Yeah, but just think, then I have to work so much longer.
Okay, so to come back to that, you're not a full-time farmer.
No.
You're a part-time farmer, but you farm pretty seriously, and you have been farming seriously for a long time. I am interested in this thing that we've got here behind us. It's, I think, quite a lovely little thing. So tell me about this. This is your new thing, right?
Well, actually, this isn't that new. I've been growing melons in the field for me, but I seldom have any left over because we can eat quite a quantity of melons.
Right.
Like the extended family can go through some melons. But
let's pull them out here.
Yeah. So all of them or just one?
Just one. Sure.
Okay. Anyway, these are field-grown cantaloupes. This is actually, ironically, this is the first pick today. You're a lucky man. And they just taste so good when they ripen right on the vine. I mean, smell that.
I could smell them in the box here. So I want to hear how you knew you were ripe. They were ripe this morning. You went out in the field, you said, and
oh well, you can always tell when, especially the first cantaloupes are ripe, because you'll walk by them and you'll smell them, and you'll go, "There's a ripe cantaloupe in there somewhere." But these ones were really obvious because I smelt them, and they also had turned color. So these stood out, very easily.
So how long are you going to have to? How long will you have melons for the market?
That's a very good question. I don't really know the answer to that. Like probably several weeks. I do have one melon that's nowhere near ripe, but they're 2 or 3 times the size of those, and it's actually a honeydew melon, and I've got my fingers crossed on that. So I'm hoping to end the season with some honeydews.
Right on.
We'll see.
Okay, well, so you've got it. Get down to the Saturday market. That's where you'll find Steve and his tomatoes and maybe a few melons and those Spanish peppers, which are really great. I love them. I was one of the regular people last year once Steve told me what to look for. Thanks a lot, Steve.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And thank you for watching, and hope to see you at the market.
Hormones in me, I don't need any more. I wanna know the folks who run my local store. Don't want no E. coli, I just want what's right there.